Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for the giant size The Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. And they make the joke in the back of the issue that didn't we just do this last year? Yes, we did. We did do this last year. So we have another Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. But let's start talking about the book. Let's start talking about the cover. I was really scared for this book, honestly. I really like Dan Slott's writing. I do. I love his originality, but I'm also kind of scared of the direction it's going of Spider-Man. It's definitely not this grounded book anymore that Spider-Man used to be. It's going in a totally different direction. So I was a little scared to read this, but the cover looks pretty cool. We get to see Alex Ross's, I'm pretty sure this is Alex Ross's artwork. It looks very similar to his, at least. And we get to see the new Spider-Man costume, which, I don't know, I'm not loving. And then we get to see this, I would say this rich Peter. I was going to say bachelor Peter, but nah, they're just playing off that has a company. I won't even say he's rich. He has a company. So that's the cover. So let's start talking about the first book first, because there's a couple of stories in here that showcases the other Spidey stories, but let's start talking about the main story. Artwork is done by, always forget his name. I never forget his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name. We got I'm just gonna show it to you. Comicoli. So he's done a lot of different Spider-Man arcs, and you know, I like the way he draws the costume, but I'm not a big fan of the Spider-Man, the Peter look. He can like slick back. I understand it's very Tony Stark, but yeah, so the artwork's okay. I still like Ramos's art style better, but I do like the artwork. A lot of good action here, so you could look forward to that. You got the new Spider-Mobile. So what happened in this story? Let's start talking about the story in general. So with this issue, we get to see Peter's not rich. He has, you know, Parker Industries. It's becoming worldwide. He's kind of like the Apple of the Marvel Universe at this point. But he has this thing where he doesn't want to make too much money, so he cuts his money to, you know, what his employees make, which is a very Peter Parker thing to do. And everything he does is very much, I need to take care of, you know, the neighborhood. You know, it's not that he's taking advantage like most business people will, and he definitely just wants to do the right thing in a global scale. So that I really enjoyed about the book. It was very Peter Parker. Even though he's in a status that is not very Peter Parker, he is still Peter Parker. Don't really care about the Spider-Mobile. I almost called it the Batmobile, because that's what it is. But yeah, it was a good start. You know, I like that we get to see again. It's very Peter Parker. There's some really good twists and turns. The cliffhanger ending, spoiler alert, is that Dr. Octopus is back, and we get to see some of Peter's friends, or at least newer friends, working with him. So it's, you know, I feel like Dr. Octopus has become the new arch nemesis of Peter in a lot of ways, at least in the recent years. And we're going to probably see that arch nemesis fight very soon. So that's the first story. Again, did it blow my mind? No, it's still very different, and I have to get used to that, but it definitely still plays in the tone of who Peter is, like I said. So moving on to the other stories, we get to see next is the Spider-Man 2009 story, where he's going to get a job with Peter. So that's pretty much the story. I'm particularly not a big fan of Miguel, so I'll probably not pick up this issue, even though they are going to have that Captain America character I really liked with Secret Wars 2009. I probably will skip the 2009 book, though. It's just never been into the universe too much. Next is Silk, which I love this book, really do. I really like the artwork, think it fits well, and it tells us a lot of information in only these few amount of pages, where Silk is kind of still doing the hero thing, but at the same time not doing the hero thing, because she's working with Black Cat for some reason, and it's like, oh, we still do not know why she's working with Black Cat. So she's working with the villain, trying to, you know, redeem her brother, try to get closer to her brother. You don't really see her brother, but her brother is referenced, so hopefully we'll see that in the next series. But really well done story. Compressed a lot of story into a few amount of pages. Now my favorite part of this issue was Spider-Woman. We get to see that Jessica's pregnant, talking to Carol. Carol's like, oh, you know, how's it being pregnant? And Jessica goes on this whole tangent saying, I hate it, you know, I've worked so hard to have this grumpy face, and, you know, make it okay, and everyone wants to help me, I don't want that. So Carol's like, oh, you know, you'll get used to it. So we find out she's walking to an apartment, and you think it's her apartment, and then at first you're like, oh no, someone like went into her apartment, she's gonna have to beat these people up. And by the end of the issue, you find out it was all part of a job. This was their apartment. This was the villain's apartment, and Jessica's still doing her job as a super spy. And then Carol's like, why are you so out of breath? It's like, oh, you know, I just beat up these people. And she said, no, you know, you have to take it easy. And Jessica said, no, why does everyone keep telling me that? Because you're 6 months pregnant. It's like, ah, that was easy. Those three were easy. So I loved it. It was so Jessica. I love the artwork. I just love the tone of that story. So the Jessica story was my favorite part of this issue. And I can't wait to read Spider-Woman. It's going to be really exciting. I really love this pregnant story, and because it just does not fit Jessica, and I can't wait to see it fit Jessica. So it was really well done. So the next story is actually the Web Warrior story. The artwork is okay. I think it's a lot better than the artwork from Spider-Verse. There are some parts where I think the proportions could be a bit better, like India's head could have been a little bit better there. I think it's the same artist as one of the Spider-Verse events. Maybe it was I think it was the Scarlet Spider one. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think this artwork is easier to grow on me than the artwork we got in Spider-Verse. Especially now that, you know, May's going to be in this story, so I'll pick that up. But yeah, you know, it's them trying to go into different spider universes, save the people that don't have, or save the worlds that don't have spider people anymore. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for that story. Should be interesting. Alright, so next story is that we get to see Miles. He kind of just defeats the bad guy. We really don't get a lot of information on the Miles story, at least about Miles. But we do get to see Regent is going to be in the Amazing Spider-Man story. So they showcase Miles, but it's really, I don't really think it's going to be his story. So we didn't really get to see the new Spider-Man book that much. So I'm excited because I want to see Miles' new status quo as someone that's not in his universe anymore. And that's pretty much the whole book. Yes, it is very much a mouthful because there's a lot of story to talk about here. It's a $5.99 book. And overall, I thought most of the stories were well done. The Miles Morales one, I didn't really care about as much. I wanted more from Miles, so I was a little disappointed with that one. Spider-Woman was amazing, like I said. Silk was really well done. Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like starting to grow into. We'll see where that goes. Yeah, that's most of the stories. So, overall, I give The Amazing Spider-Man 3.5 stars. I do think it's worth the money picking up. I don't know if it's a must read. The only one that really impressed me was the Spider-Woman book, but still, I think if you want a sample of all these Spider books, and if you want to see where Amazing Spider-Man's going, pick it up, because, and again, it's, I think, a direction that I didn't expect as much, and it makes me at ease a bit more. So that's my review for The Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic You Know. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also in the description below there's links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.